Alright people, what is going on? Back with another episode of the VF Cast. I am VF Baller, and today I have a lot to talk about when it comes to the pricing of retro games. Now you guys know that I am a big I'm a big collector, but I collect the games that I want to play. I'm not one of these guys that like to get all these sealed copies and all this other stuff. And I came across a very interesting video. I mean, a really good video about Call Jobs. I think I said that right. Great video how sealed games are possibly being manipulated. I think there's a lot of corruption here after I looked at the video, and a lot of people have been reacting to it, and I wanted to do my own reaction to it as well. Like I said, I collect games, and the games I collect are usually for, just to play. I don't like to. I've never been a fan of sealed copies and all of this putting them in a case to be graded. I always found just playing games were fun. Now I understand that there is a market for stuff like this where, if you look at like coins, or if you look at something like comics, or you look at baseball cards or anything of that nature, paintings, all that type of stuff, those things carry a value to it once you collect them and have them in pristine condition. I'm not against it. It's just not my thing. Now, one of the reasons why it's not my thing, because just I find this art is supposed to be celebrated through playing the games and sharing those memories with people. I'm not one of these types to like to put games up on the shelf and just let them sit for people to just look at and never touch. My games that are behind me now, uh, these games are, for people to come by and look at them and, play them. I have all my CRTs here. They could play them whenever. They play them on the flat screen. I mean, I got my Xbox and PlayStation. All this stuff was over here. So, to me, it's like a little small mini game room for me just to have fun with. Now, like I said, I understand that there's a market for this, and I understand that the market should be up and honest. It's one of the things that that's one thing I am for. If you're going to be reselling these games and have them in this kind of condition, if there are games that people play and they're amongst the crowd that actually enjoy, trading and selling games and having it in their collection for the purpose of celebrating and playing the games and creating memories of the games that you like or whatever the case may be, I'm all for it. Like I said, I understand the market, but I'm just not one of my things. Well, like I said, the Call Jobs video really made me open my eyes to how crazy and corrupt this thing is, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts. Basically, what these guys been doing at WATA Games, I think what is it, Heritage Auctions, all this in other places. But these two are the main characters that's going on with this. These guys are basically, from allegedly, they're shooting the price up on some of these games by way of market manipulation, shill bidding, just word of mouth to media and all this other things just to make these prices go up. And I found it weird when I first saw that, was it Super Mario Brothers, when that game sold for like $600,000, a sealed copy, which I get it, it'll be expensive, but when the price is out there and it hits you, or when it hit me, that's when I was like, wait a minute, something isn't right about this. It just, to me, it's kind of, because I already knew that the sealed copy hit like, I think it hit like 30,000 not too long ago. And then I think from 30,000 it went to like 100, and then the 600,000. I can't keep up with it, but I know when it hit the $600,000 mark, that's when I was like, wait a minute, something ain't right here. And then I heard that then the Super Mario Brothers game, not Super Mario Brothers, but Super Mario 64 went up to 1.5 million. And let me tell you something. I understand that these games are sealed or whatever the case may be, but that is a ridiculous amount of price. But in my opinion, now I know what people may say. Hey, the game is worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. I get it. And that's why I'm not really knocking this or whatever the case may be. But I just know that that doesn't mean that I'm just going to sit here and just let it slide without either me saying something or me just sitting back thinking like something about that is weird. You know what I mean? It's just something about that is just off when you have something like to go on. And I think which one? I think it was Super Mario Brothers. Let me. I'm gonna look it up right here. I think one went up to $2.2 million or something like that. Yeah, it just like recently, like back in earlier this month in August, it was just reported by the New York Times that it went up to $2.2 million for a sealed copy. Now, mind you, the one point, mind you, now the Super Mario Brothers game would just went up from $660,000. It was reported on April 3rd by CNN. April, May, June, July, in 4 months, it goes up to 2.2 million. See, this is the type of stuff that, or 2 million. This is where I sit back and be like, wait a minute, this is slow down. You know what I mean? And I don't even know what the original Super Mario 64 game went for, but all of a sudden that's 1.5. Like I said, it's a lot of manipulation, I feel, and a lot of people are starting to catch on this. Once, like I said, the brilliant video by Carl Jobs just basically put it out there. How well documented this stuff is. I mean, you got people, I can't remember their names, but you can just go into the video and you can find out these guys' names that are a part of this. They're just they have already. I know one person, I think it was Jim Halpern or something like that. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I think he was already involved into coin collecting, and he had to pay a fine. The feds came at him. He had to pay a fine for manipulating that market, and now he's back with something like this. It's just so much behind it that shows where, hey, something isn't right. People are saying that this is a scam. And I'm starting to, get on, board with everybody else, because at first I was just caused to pause because, money is money. People are willing to pay for whatever it is, and it is what it is. Even though I may have my doubts about it, like I said, if it is what it is, it is what it is. I'm not, I don't knock it, but I know something ain't right. You know what I mean? I mean, even here before it went over, let me go back 1 second, step back a minute. Even before that August 6th one, the box copy of Mario 64 went 1.5. Then it jumps. Yeah, that's right. It went to 1.5. Then Super Mario Brothers went to 2.2. Yeah, so I'm just looking at all the information right. This is just really, really jacked up. And I'm going to segue into that because I don't want to stick on to that video because I highly recommend you watch it if you haven't already. Go watch it. But this is what I feel that how it messes up the entire market. Now people are flooding the market with games that shouldn't be no more than 10, 15, maybe $20 if it's in a good condition. Now these open box games are trying to go for a lot of price because of stuff like this. People like me and regular, guys that like the game, we just want to pick up the games for what it is and play them. But now you have a situation where these games could be overtly expensive, ridiculously expensive for no reason. You can find a Super Mario 64 almost anywhere nowadays, and it may be up in price because of the quality of the game, and in some cases, the name of it itself, Mario. So you may end up spending a really good copy, and I'm just guessing off the top of my head because I go pick up games all the time, pretty much every week. I do like VF pickups on this channel. You could probably find a Super Mario 64 for maybe between $30 and $50 in a retro game store. On eBay, the price may be a little bit higher because of eBay fees or whatever the case may be, and the fact that these people are literally trying to make a serious buck off of what you see on the screen compared to seeing what you see in a store. It's two different. It's two totally different situations when you're going out hunting for a game and you see a price on it compared to going on eBay. The prices are slightly different. In some cases, they're wildly different if you're not careful in some of these stores. One could be tilted from one way to the other. The game store could be more than eBay and vice versa, but they're never like on one accord to where it is a situation where, okay, this is a definite price for a game, whatever the case may be. So that's why it is a problem where you will have these companies like Heritage Auction or WATA Games. I mean, hell, even VGA. When they put these games out there, you'll have a situation where other people say, "Oh, if that game's worth $1 million sealed, well, my unopened copy could be worth $1,000 unsealed or unopened or not even boxed." Yeah, and those games are like not necessarily even rare. Mario 64 is not a rare game. It's not a rare game at all. You can find Mario 64 almost anywhere. Hell, if you can go to a yard sale and just happen to show up at the yard sale, somebody probably like have a copy of Mario 64 somewhere, Super Mario Brothers. Hell, I had those games right up here right now. But for me, this is just pure pleasure. This is a hobby that I like to do. I'm not into grading none of my games. I probably never will try to grade or put any game in a case and say it's 9.1 or something. I wouldn't do anything like that. It's just not my thing. So with that being said, these games are beautiful art. It is. Even with the glitches and bugs in some of these games are a fantastic piece of work. And these games should be celebrated. And I think they shouldn't be put in a coffin. And that's what I think, what's his name? He usually runs with Metal Jesus. John Hancock. John Hancock said that. He's like, you put these games you're putting them in a coffin and they never see the light of day. And, I love my games too much to do that. I mean, my value of these games are the joy of playing them. And the beauty of it is when you get to play them on, different areas of different platforms. Now, I know I've been going on for about 10 minutes now. And I know what people may say. Well, you can always emulate these games. Yeah, and you know what? I'm getting to the point now. Emulation may be the best option for people who want to play these games. Even if you have physical copies, with that aspect, I'll get into the physical side versus emulation down the road because just preservation of, games or whatever. But I'll get into that down the road. But the reason why I say emulation might be the way to go, because if you're just now looking at these channels and you're just now looking at these videos, or you just understanding what's going on in the market when it comes to possibly market manipulation and what Heritage and WATA Games are doing, and you really take heed of what Carl Jobst and Pat the NES Punk and all these other people are saying, you may want to just go ahead and jump into emulation. It is so easy to buy these games. Well, you can buy some of these games now, or get ROMs or whatever the case may be of these games. Put them on, let's say, a flash card if you're using the cartridge. If you're using the system, or get a ODE, an optical disc emulator, and put them in your Dreamcast or your Saturn or your PS1. The PS1 that one is out now. So if you want to go that route, I just get to the point I recommend it, because getting these games back here is starting to be more of a task than anything. Now, you can go to any of these stores and you could possibly just go, hey, I'm going to purchase, I like sports games. So you can say, I'm going to get NBA Live, 06, or I'm going to go get NBA or NBA 2K12 or something like that. You can go in the game store and get those at a ridiculously cheap price. I just recently had to go pick up this game again, NHL 14. I just had to go pick this up again because I think I accidentally threw the case away. I still have the disc over here, but I had the case. I think I threw it away on accident just trying to clean up in here. So I just bought this $5. And if you think I'm not joking, I don't know if you can read that. You probably can't. There's a tag on there, whatever. I need a new camera. Anyway, tag on it says $5. I bought it. So if you want to get those type of games, that's fine. I don't know if you can see it like right here. If you're trying to get a game like Musha, which is right there where my finger is, you're going to be paying some money for that game. And that game is, I don't know what it is now. That game could be like over $400 now. I'm going to look it up right now. And yeah, like Musha is, Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. eBay. Okay. All right. So Musha, I see Musha right now going up for $700 right now. And see, it'd be nothing for me to go ahead and try to get that game graded and see what I can get out of it. Why would I do that? Even though the game is cost that much, I wouldn't do that. It's just not my thing. So, I mean, with that being said, it's just, if you're trying to get into this, whole thing when it comes to buying games, collecting games, if you're just now starting, I don't recommend it. I don't, not at this point. I just don't. My main thing is now is just, if you want to get in it, get into the games that you're going to play that are pretty cheap. You might want to start with maybe the Xbox One. I mean, the original Xbox, PS2. Start with that generation and go and the PS2, GameCube. Start with that generation and come up towards the precedent times or present time. Don't go any further back. I mean, Dreamcast games are ridiculous. Saturn games are ridiculous. PlayStation 1, you may get away with PlayStation 1 games, but anything behind, after that, the cartridge-based stuff is getting out of hand. I don't recommend it. That's just me. I don't recommend it. But I really, disc-based from the 6th generation on up, have at it. That's just really my recommendation. As for me, I feel like I have every game that I want, honestly, retro-wise. I think a game that's out there that I really do want, I may want, and it's not really a game that was really released, is Blue Dolphin for the Dreamcast. That's one game, or Dolphin Blue, I think that's called. That's one game I do want that I haven't picked up yet. Any other game that I'm getting now is probably like arcade style sports titles, NBA Jams and stuff like that. NFL Blitz. I'm trying to get those games. All the other stuff that is basically new. There's going to be new titles that are coming out. All the retro stuff, I think I got everything that I want. I'm not really into the, just buying stuff to get it. Like I said, I got all the NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Wii. I may get some more Wii U titles. I may get those because I do love my Wii U. I may get different iterations of Street Fighter because I'm a big Street Fighter fan. Like, I got the Street Fighters on the Saturn. I may try to pick up the ones for the PlayStation 1 or something like that. Stuff like that. But that's just me. I'm in a perfect spot where I am as far as collecting and buying games. I may get, a few more, but that's it. Outside of that, if you guys are just now getting into this and you're thinking about it, hey, I want to start a Sega Genesis collection. I want to start a Super Nintendo or an NES collection. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do. I just wouldn't recommend it at this point. I just wouldn't. Because for one, if you're trying to do it to get rich, I mean, I think that ship that has sailed. Is getting to the point where this market's probably going to bust probably within the next, I'll say 5 to 10 years. And you guys think you think that's a long time away. But in the market of collecting, that's a short amount of time. I mean, it's very short. It's a very short amount of time when it comes to collecting. Years go by very quick when you're looking at certain games that you may want and you're patient about buying it. Before you know it, some guys take 8, 9, 10 months to watch a price drop, or they wait till the price get a certain point and they sell it. They sell the game. And for them, that time goes by so quick, it doesn't feel like anything. So if you're really trying to get into this, at this point, I really would probably start with the 6th generation. Go with the 6th generation and move up. Xbox, PS2, GameCube. I know the Dreamcast is part of that generation, but I am not recommending you going out to buy Dreamcast games. Dreamcast games are getting really, really expensive now. PlayStation 1 is probably the only one out of 5th generation I would think about. Think about PlayStation 1. You could play those all the way up to the 7th generation. You could play those on the PlayStation 2. You could play those on the PlayStation 3. So those even though that you could play those in various places, those prices are actually pretty good. They are slightly going up a little bit, but they're still pretty good. So that's just my opinion about it. I think this is scummy what they're doing with Carl Jobs put out. I think these guys are crooks, in my opinion. They're no different than what the coin market did. They're manipulating the market. They're in it for themselves. They're not thinking about you. They're only thinking about you if you're going to willing to put that money up in the auction, because they're going to outbid you. And then before you know it, you're going to be sitting here losing, and they're going to take the money, and the market's still going to go up because other people that want these games, the price is going to continue to go up on those. Also, there's also another thing where you can buy shares of a game, and I'm not going to get into that. That, to me, I think that's just ridiculous. If you're sitting here playing these games like it's like buying shares like it's a stock or crypto or something like that, I'm going to say it right now, and I don't care if anybody get mad. I think you're an idiot for doing that. Why would you put your money into something that that's very, very high risk? I think putting shares into a game is high. If you have the game and you're putting it in the auction, that's fine. Because I really don't have a problem with it when it's done with non-nefarious activity or non-manipulative activities. Hell, I mean, how do you think I got most of my games now? By purchasing them, trading with people, and in some cases buying games off of people who didn't want their games anymore, and knowing what games that they had. I paid a pretty penny for some of these games because I knew the rarity or how much I wanted the game personally. So that's when I want the game. It's not because I'm sitting here trying to buy shares and do this, that, and the third. And to me, I don't recommend it. Now, there's some people out here, and I will be remiss for saying, and I know if people are listeners, they probably already said this. There are people who have games that can that can change their lives as far as cashing out on these games and doing something for their family, and actually, hell, some of these games, some people have games could probably get themselves completely out of debt, or in some cases, they can retire early. Kudos to that. That's what, if anything, I would do with this stuff over here. If it got bad to the point, financially I'm okay. I got pretty decent credit. I'm not trying to toot my horn, but I'm okay when it comes to finances. If it gets to the point where I can cash out and I actually take care of my family, and I don't really feel like working my job anymore, or anything like that, I'll sell all this and put everything on my emulator and play these games off my emulator on my computer. If that was the case, I mean, seriously. Now, the thing about that is I never took the time to see how much all my stuff is worth. I don't have that much stuff, but I do have some rarities over there. Like I said, I got Musha over there. I don't know how much it costs now, but I got the cartridge version of the old Tengen Tetris. I don't know how much this stuff has cost. I got some really good spaceship shooters that are really expensive over there. So I got some really good Saturn and Dreamcast. I have some games over there that are pretty, that can really go for some money. But I'm just not into it like that. I'm just not. You know what I mean? I'm not into stuff like that. So my main thing is I would, just hold off and keep my games and play them until I don't anymore. If anything, especially if this whole situation bubble just bursts and these games become worthless, I'll just probably do like what John Hancock does, and he's building a museum. I think is he still building that museum? Because some people say that there was a whole big deal about him being a fraud on that, but that's a whole nother story. I'm not getting into that. I'm not trying to talk. I like his content. I'm not trying to do anything like that. But I was just wondering, like, I would take my games and put them in a museum. That's what I would do if it gets push come to shove, and it's all said and done, and I'll just I got all the emulators on my computer now. I just don't like playing on them. I'd rather play on the real hardware. I got my PlayStation 2 right here. I've been playing, with my PlayStation 1 arcade stick. I got my other consoles over here, and you see my retro AVS and Super Nintendo. I have my stuff. I just choose not to play on the emulator, but if I have to, it's here. So I just don't see myself doing it, and I don't know if anybody else would. I mean, kudos to you. Like I said, if you guys can make life-changing decisions where these games could get you $100, $200, $300, $500,000 and you don't have to do anything else for the rest of your life financially, do it. My thing is, I don't like this whole thing about the manipulation, the corruption, the collusion of these two companies together, putting the price, allegedly putting these prices up together, putting these prices up just to undercut the little guy like me, who just may go out and one day say, hey, you know, my Super Mario, Brothers is not working anymore. For some reason, the cartridges don't work. I'm gonna just go out and buy another one. Now, right now, I could probably do that right now. Probably get Super Mario Brothers for, and in this, I don't think this is fair now. You could probably get Super Mario Brothers right now for about $20 at one of the retro game stores I'm at that I have here. I have 5 of them here. And, I have 5 of them here where I live. And my thing is, if I wanted to do that, I think it's too high. But now with the way things are going, we're probably looking at, if I want to get a copy of it, the price is probably going to continue to go up one day. And I'll probably be able to be like, you know what? I got my, NES Classic. I'll just go play it off of there. I know I paid a good bit of money for this retro AVS or this AVS right here. I paid a good bit of money for that. But hey, I want to play on my mini and I'll be all right. I'll just leave it at that. But my thing is, it's just crazy that how these games can go the way that they go. I don't like the manipulation. I don't like what it is. And unfortunately, I'm looking on eBay right now. You can still get these. Like I said, you can get these games for about $20 now. You know what I'm saying? Like Mario 1 right now is at $27. Mario 2 is about the same price. Mario 2 is bidding right now at $16.50. So around the $20 mark is probably right where it is. And that's honestly, that's somewhat fair when you really look at it, at the scheme of things. It's fair because at the end of the day, Mario's an iconic figure. And what's going to happen is, the prices are going to go up to a certain extent. So I'll take it around there. That's a pretty decent price, and I'll leave it at that. As far as, the market, I hope the market gets fixed. I hope it gets fixed to the point where it levels off to where some of these rare games could probably, depend on the rarity, will be expensive. Like I know some PlayStation 2 games are expensive, but most of those games are expensive because, like I said, they're rare. They're low production, they're low print. And I totally get when you get a rule of rose for an expensive amount of money. I can understand where, what's the other game on the Saturn? Oh goodness. Street Fighter Alpha 03. Street Fighter Alpha 03. Boy, what Street Fighter 03 for the Saturn is like ridiculous right now. I got a reproduction copy of that, but I would love to get a real copy of that. I understand it was only released in Japan, and for people over here in the States, we're gonna have to pay some money for that. There's a lot of other games out right now, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, free MVC 2. That's another game that's probably, I know the Dreamcast version is very expensive. You can get the Dreamcast Japanese version for cheaper than that. So I get it where there's some games that's going to be that price. I get it. The thing about it is, I would like to see where the price of these games just level off, where it's not being manipulated. And hopefully we'll get to that point one day where guys like me, just normal guys that just want to play games, can get into this for the first time. Like I said earlier, I don't recommend it now, but if you do get into it for the first time, you'll be able to enjoy these games for what they are. You will be able to play them. And if you want to play on original hardware, it's always a beautiful thing when you get to play these games on original hardware. I love playing these games on original hardware. I'm not against emulation. I have all the emulators here. I mean, from the Atari all the way up to, I think right now I'm emulating the PS3 right now. So I have them all, but it's just that I love playing on original hardware. It's the best. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you made it this far, I like to make these podcast episodes around 30 minutes. Don't want to keep up no too many people's time, unless if I'm doing an interview with somebody, it'll go a little bit longer. but the 30-minute mark is always a sweet spot for me. Thank you guys for coming around. I appreciate it. If you like this video, hit the like button. Share this podcast. Let people know what I'm doing over here. I try to do one at least once a week, letting you guys know my thoughts about everything in the world of gaming. On the other side of the world, other side of my YouTube world, I do a podcast called The First and Frame Rate Show. I talk about sports and sports gaming. This way you can see the Atlanta Falcons stuff. You probably see a lot of sports stuff here. You know, I do a lot of, talking about the Atlanta Falcons, Georgia Southern Eagles. Over there, I talk about sports, but on this channel, I do more of the gaming stuff, talk about certain topics, whatever the case may be. Also, I have a Patreon. If you want to go over there and see what I got going on over there, I give out an exclusive mini version of the First and Frame Rate Show every day, and I also have other things I'm put out there, usually like when I rate the package, where I take a game, its entire game like this, and I open it up and I look at the instruction manual and I give it a scale of 1 to 10 of what I think of the artwork and the presentation. So I do all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys will check out any of this content. I appreciate you if you made it this far, and I will see you guys on the next one. You guys take it easy. You guys be blessed. Peace.